Hi, I'm Layla Saad and I'm the author of Me and White Supremacy. And today I'm sharing some words from day 22 of the book. Day 22 is about you and white feminism. And these words are by Rennie Edo-Lodge, who's the author of the incredible book, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. And Rennie says, if feminism can understand the patriarchy, it's important to question why so many feminists struggle to understand whiteness as a political structure in the very same way. So when I first started talking about race and white supremacy, it was with an article that went very viral called I Need to Talk to Spiritual White Women About White Supremacy. And I was speaking to people in that space who were my peers, my clients, I was coaching at the time and coaching from a spiritual perspective, and many people in that space, in the personal growth and wellness and spirituality space, are these spiritual white women. They are the ones who get all the book deals and are seen as the experts and invited onto all the podcasts and the summits and all of those things. And they are the standard, right? We talked about white centering, the standard against which the rest of us are supposed to compare ourselves. And one of the real thread across so many of those people in that space is this work of reclaiming ourselves from the patriarchy, the women's healing journey, the heroine's journey, the journey of coming back to ourselves in a patriarchal world that tells us that being woman means being lesser than. And so there's so much passion and there's so much energy around reclamation of oneself as a woman. But what I came to understand, and what precipitated me writing that article, was, how is it that you're able to understand that, but you're not able to understand that racism is too an oppressive system that we live under, and that being a woman and being a woman of color or an Indigenous woman or a Black woman means experiencing those oppressions both at the same time. And one of the arguments that I got back when I first started talking about race after that article was from white women, spiritual white women, saying to me, look, when you talk about race, you're being divisive. You're dividing the women's movement, the feminist movement. We are connected because we are all sisters in this movement, and we must band together under the sisterhood and under our shared struggle of experiencing sexism. And that once we defeat that, then we can sort of look at these other things, right? And that's an argument that throughout time, women of color, Black women, Indigenous women have had to deal with from white women in the feminist movement who say, let's look at gender first, and then we will look at race. And the thing is that what that means is that the mainstream feminist movement isn't here to serve people who look like me. It is not here to serve us, because I am not a woman and then a Black person. I am a woman and a Black person simultaneously. And I cannot chop parts of myself off and say I'm only going to focus my energies on my oppression under sexism and then deal with my race later. Because every day I still have to be aware that the way that I look as a Black woman, as a melanated woman, that is causing people to act in ways that are harmful to me. And so you and white feminism isn't just about being a white woman who's a feminist or being a white person who's a feminist. It's a feminist agenda that centers whiteness, that centers white women as the norm and as the standard, and as long as we get freedom and liberation and the end of oppression for white women, then all women will be taken along. And it's absolutely not true. And the other part to bear in mind is that many white women struggle to understand that while they may be experiencing oppression under sexism, in the same time, they are enforcing oppression through racism. They hold white privilege. They may not hold male privilege, but they hold white privilege. And they, through their unexamined, unconscious racist thoughts and beliefs and behaviors, are causing harm to Black, Indigenous people of color. So this is a very, very important day that I really want you to look at, regardless of your gender and how you identify as your gender. the feminist movement does not serve us all, and we really need to look at movements that include all of us in there.